Does nobody find it weird the rate at which thugs' messages are being released? Now, I'm not from Atlanta, so that's not my problem, but I do enjoy music, and this conversation isn't about who's a rat, who's a whatever, this, that, and third, because I could care less. I enjoy good music, right? The conversation is Atlanta is slowly about to not become a powerhouse, and let me tell you why. Atlanta's gift for the last at least 10 to 15 years in music has been not just the stardom that they have, but how well everybody in the city works together and how well everybody looks out for each other, right? So if you hear what I'm saying, I think you can see where I'm going. Everyone in Atlanta is always trying to put another Atlanta artist on, whether that's on their albums, whether when they're doing clothing or whatever. But if we stick to music, right, you always have Atlanta artists featuring other Atlanta artists. You always have Atlanta artists doing stuff on the humbug, whether it's performing when they're in Atlanta, doing whatever, just because. Even when Drake goes out there, he shows love to Atlanta because of how much they're a united front. The issue with New York has been we always beefing with each other. We always got the top people and the top artists, but we never come together to be a solidified front. We always got a problem with somebody don't like this person who's connected to somebody else, so it's always an issue, right? And that's why New York has been quote unquote on the decline, because we don't have anybody to emerge, and whenever somebody is first up front, somebody else is trying to pull them back, and it's always a comparison, and then there's a problem, there's a beef. But with Atlanta, there's not that. This whole thug thing has everybody pulled in different corners. It's either you rocking with Gunna, or you rocking with Thug, or you rocking with Baby, and this whole, whether it's QC, whether it's Thug's people, now it's starting to get messy because everybody's attached to somebody differently in different ways. Nobody really want to go against Thug, but also Gunna's making great music. Now you hear these phone calls about Thug talking about Weekend, you hear Thug talking about the Migos, so now it's starting to get a little weird and starting to get a little sticky. But you got 21, who's very much so self-aware from what you can hear from these calls, talking about, yo, none of that matters if you give him a cosign and say everything good, even though niggas jumped the gun, because that's the problem. Everybody jumped the gun. Then all this could be good and everything will be beneficial, because nobody in the real world really care about nothing that y'all got going on. Everybody just worried about the music. Everybody else is civs. Like, nobody really cares about what y'all talking about, this whole rat stuff. The music ain't good if it's not good. If it's good, then cool, we rocking with it. So right now, all of Atlanta is beefing over who's a rat, who's a snitch, and it's gonna start getting spooky for music. I'm telling you. If we being honest, Baby been on the decline. 21 Savage has been cooking with his music, cool, but Thug ain't really been that. If we being honest, who else? Future on the run, but Future's in a world of his own. I don't think Future really says much about nothing, so you'll never know how he really feels. But then that leaves the West Coast, right? West Coast is on the high because of the whole Kendrick thing. We lit, we turned. But after Kendrick dropped and after he's been finished with tour, we haven't really heard much from the West Coast. Like, the only West Coast rapper that I would say right now is really killing it is Tyler. And when you think of West Coast, you don't necessarily think of Tyler unless you know Tyler. His music doesn't very much so sound like, ooh, West Coast hippity hop. His last album did, and he's definitely done a couple of freestyles where it has, and he's reminding y'all that he's really from the West Coast. But other than that, you might have YG, Mustard not doing much. You don't have that many West Coast artists right now, especially with everything that Kendrick did. You don't have that. And the problem is, Kendrick popped out, he created this whole wave and this momentum, but after that, he hasn't really done much. He went on tour, he pops out for a couple verses here and there, but other than that, he's not really pushing West Coast anymore forward the way in which we said that Drake was. And this isn't a whole Drake-Kendrick thing, but on the West Coast, you don't really have or hear much more post that. After the Joey Badass beef with the West Coast, you haven't heard nothing from out there, so it's like, what was the whole point of this whole wave that y'all was supposed to have? It's kind of gone silent, it's gone quiet. Y'all was supposed to go back to back to back to back and have people producing. Maybe I'm just have my East Coast bias, and maybe I don't know, so y'all can let me know if you're still listening, but it's kind of weird. All that to say is, right now, Atlanta's been dominating hip-hop for a little minute. Right now, I think hip-hop is super duper open right now. I don't think that there's a certain area that is going to dominate hip hop for the next 5 to 10 years. The only people I can see doing that potentially is New York if we get it together. But other than that, I don't know what the West Coast is about to do, and I don't know what Atlanta's about to do. And there's not really any other region that has dominated hip hop other than those three regions per se. And maybe that's just, again, my bias. But it'll be interesting to see what that looks like. So if you're still here, let me know what y'all think and comment how y'all feel about this whole Atlanta beefing thing. Okay, bye.